creepy, creepy book. Hey, I'm Christina. Welcome to the G. Louise Book Series channel. Please hit the thumbs up to like and subscribe. Christina, K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. Today we are reviewing The Haunting of Maddy Clare. Sarah Piper, her parents are deceased and she's having to survive by herself, and she's getting temporary employment through a employment agency. And this is 1920s. When Alistair Gellers calls the agency and says he needs a secretary, really smart, intelligent secretary, because his assistant, Matthew's sister's had a child and has gone off to take care of his sister. So he needs an assistant right away, and it has to be a female assistant. And it isn't until later that we learn that Mr. Gellers researches haunted houses. He goes after poltergeists. He's one of those guys that goes and records and documents hauntings around the world. And he's gotten a phone call from Mrs. McCready that she needs a female to help them get rid of the ghost in their barn. Hi, Sammy. Come here. Nope, not not as good as my other co-host. So it has to be a female. Apparently, years and years ago, this traumatic young lady showed up on Mrs. McCready's doorstep, barely clothed, barefoot, full of mud, had been through a traumatic experience and remembered nothing prior to it. Um, and she really didn't say anything for a while. And then years later, a certain person shows up at the house to do some maintenance, and it triggers her memory, and she commits suicide. She hangs herself in the barn. And she's been haunting the place ever since. So Mrs. McCready is elderly now. Her husband has passed away. She has no children. It's just her and her housekeeper. And she wants Mr. Gellers to have a female come and help the ghost, Maddy, move on to the next level. So Alistair hires Sarah Piper to come and be his assistant and be the female that goes into the barn, because it has to be a female that goes into the barn. And they travel up together, and Piper, Sarah's just not, she's very uncomfortable. She's never been with a guy before. She's never been in a car before. She's a whole new experience for her. So she's all so nervous anyway. So anyway, they get up to the house and they go to the barn, and the ghost makes Sarah hallucinate that she's on fire. And the ghost can torment every time Sarah goes into the barn. She torments, and then eventually she's speaking to Sarah. And at one point, Alistair and Matthew go into the barn too, and she possesses Alistair, and he starts hallucinating, thinking he's back in the war again, and all this stuff. So then Sarah and Matthew get closer, but they also have to investigate, where did Maddy come from? What happened prior to her arriving at the farm? And they discover that three men attacked her and did stuff to her and thought they had killed her when they were finished, but she wasn't killed yet. And it was such a traumatic experience of what had happened that she didn't, she just blacked it all out, went to the farm, and spent years there until she saw one of the three gentlemen come to the house. And after she hangs herself in death from the heaven poltergeist situation, she's seeking revenge. And it's very, very creepy. With the crows, I'm thinking the birds. You remember that Alfred Hitchcock movie, and the birds, and there's birds everywhere, there's crows, and there's other people involved, and there's a a lot of stuff going on and nobody's talking. It's one of those creepy Saturday afternoon movie books. One of those eerie 1970s creepy. um she possesses people and she does things to people, makes them see things, and it's just very creepy. It's a very creepy book. I'm sorry. Um but The Haunting of Maddie Clare is creepy, and you have to read it to go all the way through and find out how this entire thing is resolved. It's not a pretty ending. I don't know if you could call it I don't a pleasant. It's not a happily ever after type situation. There is a conclusion, and the it's just it's just creepy. So please like and subscribe. I really can't say anything else. It's just really creepy. Have a good one.